figured out why these things are breaking. It's because when I built the bridge across here, what I didn't do is... I need to have a quick look at this, see how this is working, but I seem to have... Okay, so we have clean water, which comes into here. This thing is filtering clean water, so back. Clean water's coming into here, it's coming into the air scrubber, it's joining this pipe up here. As it's joining this pipe here, it's then coming across this bridge and joining here. For some reason I've got, this is my polluted outlet, which is coming down into here, across a bridge, and down into, yeah, through the purifier, but I'm feeding fresh water into it, which is a bad thing. So I need to take this out because I don't want fresh water going into the... wasting fresh water for a start. But we can... so I'm going to go to deconstruct. I'm going to deconstruct that and that. That will stop fresh water getting into that. So once we've repaired all this and we've filtered all the water through again, stop breaking things, at the moment I'm not producing any fertiliser because I've broken my fertiliser makers. Compost heap's doing well though, left those 2 toilets up there, but yeah, right, glad I figured that one out. Except now I've got no into these 2 toilets again. What? Oh, I got... So fresh water's coming into here, it's coming up here and into here and here. Have I not joined those up? Liquid pipe, there and there. No. Okay, so I didn't join the toilets up, I just joined the fresh water into the into the dirty water system. Well, got to keep an eye on this game. I said we've got to keep an eye on this game because it's so rapidly, until I get those that water pump repaired and the whole system starts pumping again. It's going really badly downhill very quickly. As you can see, the old carbon dioxide's building up. There's a lack of oxygen being produced. I've got an insufficient oxygen generation thing. I have turned 2 guys into a delivery and repair, but they're not doing it. They're not doing it. These things are waiting for material to be delivered, and it's just not happening. Obviously now guys are all getting stressed out. So Gossman, Barney, Abe, Ruby, Otto, they're all... Crikey, let's just chuck it. Actually, I want to get these things done. So, right, okay, let's get everybody's jobs. Let's take everybody off everything and put everybody on deliver, everybody on repair. We'll put a couple of power as well. Put the arty guy back on art. And that's all I want them to do. I just want them to deliver and repair. So they've repaired that fertiliser maker, but why are you not... Come on, repair these! Yeah, you're picking up fertiliser, you're delivering fertiliser, you're picking up clay. Okay, let's have a quick look at a duplicate while we're waiting. This guy's anemic. That just means he's not got a lot of athleticism. Small bladder, but he does like working in. Okay, let's go for somebody who's got no... Train him up. Come on guys, fix things. Okay, well I'm going to wait for them to fix things and I'll bring you back. Okay, things are looking a little desperate, as you can see from the oxygen overlay. The old carbon dioxide is spreading far and wide. They just don't want to come down and repair these 2. I've got everybody on delivery and repair. Perhaps I'll take them off delivery. Will that make a difference? Got one guy who's doing everything. See, that's the guy I just recruited. Wait till they wake up again. 4 are idle, 3 are idle, 5 are idle. They just don't want to do something. So I think what we're going to do is we'll come back up to jobs. We'll get everybody doing everything again, except perhaps art. We'll close that down, close that down. I think the only thing we can do is deconstruct the purifier and make a new one if they're not going to behave themselves. Oh, now you're going to repair it. Okay, let's quick. Okay, so we're knocking something on the head. See, this is going to cause a little bit of damage putting some fresh water in here, but at least stuff is working and it's now pumping stuff through. Ah, yes. Of course it... well, no, what's this? What I have done is I've put a switch in here. We'll turn that off. Stop us taking water out of this reservoir for the minute. Bubblers are starting to work again. Excellent. So we start filling the pipes up. Okay, yeah, the problem I've got here is I'm filtering clean water out, but no clean water is going back into the system again, so I need to build a pipe so that we take some clean water out of here, put it back into the main system. I did have a pipe there. Don't know why that dynamics stopped working, but let's let's have a look at what happens. Okay, so now we've got more fresh water going back up into the system. Obviously, once I've used all this fresh water down here, oh, it's all a bit of a mess pipe-wise. That's why you need to organise it properly. So what I need to do is probably put some sort of filter in here, make sure we can push water up through there, all well and good. Maybe put another purifier in so we can purify water quicker. At the moment, I don't understand why this isn't working, because we ought to be filling this pipe up. Well, no, because the fresh water's going through there, but there's fresh water coming down through there. I need to feed this pipe in somewhere different, such as I can feed it in here, but that's just going to dump it straight back into the tank. I need to feed it somewhere into the feed up here somewhere. Okay, so we're getting some more polluted through. Okay, let's put a liquid valve in here. Deconstruct that pipe there. And put that one down through there. So now I can take this and I can change the flow control to none for the minute. And that will mean that all the fresh water comes out of here will come up into there. So we get some sort of hydro lock, in which case I can open that then. But yeah, my biggest problem is fresh water coming out of here feeds into there, but now once that's cleared, more fresh water coming through. I've stopped this pump here, so I don't know what's going to happen with this. Perhaps this will keep feeding in. Seems to be getting more packets of water going in than coming out. I don't know what these packets are. Let's press pause a minute. A quick investigation here. Right, so we've got here about 1.5 kilos. Going in here, we only have 10 kilos. 10 kilos? So you get 10 kilos of polluted water in, and then you don't seem to get as much water out. Interesting. Right, so yeah, that could maybe cause us a problem when I start doing polluted water. If I pump the polluted water, because we're not going to get polluted, if I pump that straight into here, not into here, so let's come to my liquid overlay. Let's deconstruct that pipe there a minute. Off you go, guys, and then we'll construct a liquid pipe and go straight into here, because I know there's a lot of fresh water still in here. Let's do that temporarily. Okay, so now I'm getting a steady flow of polluted water into here, and now we're getting water out of there. There is a little polluted water coming up through here, but that will feed into here as well then. Once this stops, because of this switch here, and we've emptied this pipe, we'll get rid of that pipe there as well. We should get an input in. See what happens anyway. At least we're getting some oxygen being produced, which means this should start looking a little bit healthier. And the scrubber's starting to work. And hopefully it'll clear up the base. Got a lot of polluted oxygen around here. Need to. Right, what are we up to? Let's get another duplicate in here. So we have a yokel. Fine, I don't need learning. Decor expectation. But he's a bit eyes-eyed. Tinkering, construction and learning. He's a narcoleptic, but he's got 0. And here we got construction, but he can't dig at all. So this one's amphibious. So okay, he's got high learning, but fancy him. And we'll go for the mop. Get the mop out. This mopping to do. Guys getting a little stressed out. Actually they're not. Tell a lie. They're all down to about 20. Not asking them to do anything outside of the base at the moment, so that's fine. Built another ration box up here. Perhaps we will put clean up some of this polluted oxygen that's around the place. Which I was rather hoping we could use this for, but actually it's gone down to about -80, but it's still not doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to rejig this, put a few more of these in. Might have to pump some more hydrogen in from here, which we will have now the bubblers are working. And luckily we're getting a little bit more food. I've got loads of food anyway. Right, bring it back in a bit. Okay, so I've put in sort of this little row here and a sort of few more here. I'm getting the temperature down to 170, but I think reading up on it I've got to get it down to about 180 to keep liquid oxygen. So I'm going to squeeze a few more of these in here, I think. Maybe even take this down a level, bring this down as well, and we'll see. I don't really want to make this too cold, but perhaps these tiles sit sort of reasonably nicely. So yeah, going to make this a little bit bigger and put perhaps another double row in, and we'll see if I can get it down to 180, because that's at what point this polluted oxygen should liquefy, and then perhaps I can pump it out. But that's about all that's happening with that. Sorted out my problems down here, apart from my guys wanting to make a mess everywhere. I might need to bring this. I'm going to bring this floor down a bit anyway, and I can bring the carbon scrubber down as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I shall bring you back. This is filling up quite nicely. So anyway, and I'm back, and yes, I've just been recording the last sort of 20 minutes or so, and realised I wasn't recording, but we had a bit of a disaster with the base, in that I didn't quit out. I alt-tabbed out to do something else, and then got distracted and left it on, and as you can see, we're up to cycle 299 now. I didn't lose a single duplicant, but the base was yeah, the base was full of polluted gases and things, because my bubblers had stopped, because for some reason I think something had broken, or we'd run out. I seem to run out of water down here at the moment. Still got water here, but this is all changed. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what the base. Mid-episode, I normally give my quick rundown at the beginning of the episode, but there we go. Right, come back up to let's start up here. This here, I've put a few extra ones of these in. This is about the minimum number of gas valves and piping you need to generate this liquid oxygen down here. At the moment, all I'm doing is, I was trying to pump it over here and use it for cooling this water down here maybe, but that hasn't worked. I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, so at the moment I'm just I'm pumping it out, and I'm just spitting it out here. It's dripping down here, and you've got a little bit of liquid oxygen there, but it's sort of bubbling off and filling this area up. The temperature here is, as you can see, still very, very cold. This is the problem about pumping liquid oxygen, which is about 180, I think. Yeah, 190 there. Straight into here is it's still at freezing temperature, and yeah, the liquid oxygen down here is obviously at 190, and it's not bubbling off particularly fast, and it's freezing this whole area down, as you can see. So that is not necessarily a good thing. I perhaps need to pump it down somewhere. Yeah, I do need to perhaps get it over here, but the problem is if you pump it too far, it bubbles off in the pipe and damages the pipe, boils off in the pipe. I was, as I said, bringing it down here and then along there and down there, but it's not quite working. It's bubbling off, boiling off around here, so I'm not too sure quite what's happening here that isn't happening across here. So I might join this pipe to here in a minute and see what that does. See if I can bubble it and use it for cooling this area down, because yeah, it's go from one extreme to another. If I could get it into here, it would be brilliant, because obviously it would produce oxygen. I could get a flow out through this mesh tile here, and we'd be able to pump oxygen to this side of the base, where it's a little bit sort of carbon dioxide-y at the moment. So we'll have a go at that in a minute. There's because they were all stressed out, and I'm slowly cycling them through here, there is an awful lot of cleaning up to do. Excuse me 1 minute, one frog in my throat. Quick emergency mute while I cough a lung up. Not that you need to know that anyway. But so back up here. I need to make this a little bit bigger, because what I'm finding is I'm getting sort of a vacuum up here, or very little at the moment. I think it's off, so I'm collecting, a couple, about ½ kilogram of hydrogen up here. But as soon as I start this up, it empties this space quicker than the hydrogen fills it. So I need to do something with that, and I'd like to still work out why this they won't come up here. Oh dear, I'm all bodily functions today. Other things I've got. Well, I put up a little pump up here to pump any hydrogen that was collecting here. And it was, yeah, after we had my death last episode, I realised it's just, I can't work up here, so we did that. And what else did I do? I put a pump in here, which I've now turned off. Basically, could get rid of any of this polluted oxygen and pump it into here. I said what this does is this cools all the polluted oxygen down, so I've got some hydrogen trapped in here as well, which I didn't really want, but and it was an experiment. It wasn't designed to be efficient. Well, the other thing I found is these are no longer refrigerated because because of this business we've probably melted all this ice around here, and it's no longer, here I've got a positive temperature, here it's barely minus, so I'm going to put a wheeze wart in here, insulate all this, and just see how that works. Food seems to have dropped a little, partly because these things weren't producing fertiliser, so we ended up having to got a little bit short of food, but again didn't lose anything. And as I said, I'm pumping water from here now into here because all this is finished, and I've moved my scrubber down a level, so hopefully this becomes my CO2 dump for the base. What else is going on? I've emptied this, overheated and broke, so now I've got water down into here, so I can't pump this water out at the minute. Whether I change that pump and move it down here, I don't know, but there's a lot of chlorine in here, and you can see I've got a little patch of chlorine sat on top of this CO2, which is here. But this mesh tile here is waterlogged, so that's what's stopping that get out into the base at the moment. So then yes, next coming over this area here, I've forgotten about the bottom down there, but we'll come back to that. I've sort of basically coming into here and I've run out of filtration medium, which is again, as well as running out of power, this thing had been stopped. So I'm coming into here to dig out some sand, and I'm probably a little bit short on gold amalgam, so I need to dig out that as well. And meanwhile down here, I've dug all the way down to here, dumped any of this polluted water down here. This is where I'm getting my polluted oxygen, so there's a little bit of building up here. So this is, I'll say, when it's working, it's pumping polluted oxygen up to here, as well as what else I can pinch out of the base. But this is my main stock of polluted oxygen, if you like. But no, I've just dumped all the water down through here, and I'm now just digging out some gold amalgam while I'm down here. We'll just keep going. Let's see, I'm just about at the end of this little biome here. So it's very close to this one here. And then obviously here I've got another cold biome, so I'm just entering into here and getting some wolframite. There you go, now you're caught up. So we are going to scroll up here slowly. So that's pumping into there, that's pumping into there. Can I dump? I've slowly got, oh crikey, that's just dropped to 46 calories. Right, and the other thing I did was, if we're looking at our, I was getting a few base circuit overloads, so I've put a cold generator down here, get an extra couple of batteries are going in and up here, and a couple of mouse wheels, so that will power pretty much, well, it'll power the purifier, the scrubber, and the two fertilizer makers, and that's all I'm keeping on that circuit, but it doesn't mean the rest of the circuit doesn't overload. So, the first thing I'm going to try next then is we're going to come up here and we're going to stick a bit of plumbing. I want to make it some insulated pipe. I do want to make some, I could read it up, but I want to do a little bit of, out of all these materials here, particularly the absolite, which is so tremendously different to anything else in the way of heat protection. Obsidian, igneous rock, granite. But this here is granite. You can see it's pumping this liquid oxygen through here. So what I want to do is perhaps have a look at what happens if I make it out of obsidian. No, I want insulated pipe out of obsidian, and we'll put a couple of lengths in there. And then we'll make a couple of lengths out of granite we've already got. We've got sedimentary rock, put a couple of lengths in there. And then, what we got, that's sedimentary rock, that is sandstone, so we'll put a couple of lengths in there. And the last section is, I think it's absolute here, so we'll just put a couple of sections in there. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, that's probably a little bit high. I need to put a couple of little hopping stones in there. Plenty of gold amalgam now, so let's just put a couple of. I need so we've got 1, 2. We only need. Well, I need it in there, don't I? So let's just put a section in there, and we'll prioritise all that. Put it in as a 7. So. We'll see what those are like in the way of conductivity. While we pump it down, I might, instead of dropping it on here, the temperature here, let's get rid of that noise. Reject all. I'm going to just wait for my food to build up again before I put another. At the moment, you know, my duplicants are surviving if we have a bit of a food disaster because I can't produce enough fertiliser or whatever. I know you're all stressed out. Come on in. Let's chuck a few of you on the up here. Yeah, just a little bit of lag here because of the background resources being used. But, so there we go, everybody's onto a table. We're making up that stuff up there. I'm going to just do a bit of mopping. Well, that's already mopping anyway. I'm going to mop some of this. And we've already got lots of mopping going on over there. So... Right. So yeah, I was looking at temperatures over here, right? Temperature over here is about 24, down here it's about 26. I really do need to dump it in here, really. But if I do that, I'm going to release all this. What I need to do is perhaps let's deconstruct that tile. I don't want to take this out. Let me have a quick think. If I get rid of this, if I dump this chlorine, no, I don't want to deconstruct that tile because it's get trapped in here. But if I dump this chlorine here and then push it in through here, it'll, like I say, flow out through here. But it's what do I do with the chlorine? I need a morgue to do something with the chlorine. Well, I suppose I could pump it somewhere. It'll sit around here, which there won't be a problem. All right, let's deconstruct that mesh tile there, and let's come back to I'm going to stick to granite for the minute, and I'm going to come down off of there, and we're going to dump it. Actually, and I'm going to dump it in there. I don't know what temperature that is. Yeah, that would be great. If I dump it in there, because I can reach that from the outside. I don't need to break any more. Alright, we need to mop that water. Let that chlorine out. I see the geyser is filling up here. What I could do is just let all this sit in here for the minute. Oh, there's a morb. And all this chlorine here is going to stay there because of the water trap. I just wait for the water level to come up here and then pump it out like I was before. I probably, if this works, and cooling the water in this section here, pumping it out, I could probably just pump it straight into the system, or pump it into down here or something. See, I left this on. It's just pumping out basically any bodily fluids these guys produce and settle in the bottom here. It's going to just pump those around my purification system. I do need to make this a lot simpler. This is just a bit of a mess because there's little bits of pipe I can get rid of, but my planning wasn't particularly well planned. So, right, prioritise then. Go for priority 7. Come down here, make that a 7, make that a 7. And once I've mopped that out, got rid of that chlorine, I'm going to put a mesh tile back in again. I might put a gas permeable one in. And then while we're deconstructing, let's go for liquid pipes to deconstruct. No. Let's all deconstruct on that. Deconstruct that vent. And yeah, we'll deconstruct the liquid pipes in this section here. Can I not reach that? Why is that unreachable? Interesting. Right, well, I might have to... Okay, we'll deconstruct that. You reach that, but you can't reach the... Right, that releases all that. And we'll come back into here, we'll get an insulated tile, make it into granite again. Put that up. Put a gas permeable vent in there. And yeah, somebody's beating something up. Oh, okay. No obsidian. Oh, right, okay, I need to dig out a little bit of obsidian. Or we'll make it out of something else. Can I reach that obsidian under there? Let's go dig 9. Unreachable then, so we'll cancel that. A bit of obsidian quick. It doesn't have to be particularly quick. Absolite, obsidian. Oh, there we go. So we'll dig that out. Make it an 8. Dig that section out. Come on guys, pick up that obsidian. Go make that pipe. There we go. Build the pipe while you're there as well. We got liquid oxygen down in this level. Okay, let's take that out. I'm sure, you know, having a freezing temperature in this area here probably isn't doing well. These plants keep coming up and down, but making the rest of the base very, very cold. So, well, not helping still haven't thought about insulating this area, but yeah. Right, let's get rid of that whiny sound again. Sort of blot it out after a while. Pop back up again in a minute because I probably missed quite a few. I don't know if that's the way it works. Oh, what's all this? Oxygen. No, oxygen. That is an awful lot of liquid oxygen coming out of there. Not a lot, but okay, well, we'll let that disappear off from here. Now we're getting our boiling damage coming again. See, it's this section here, it just does not like it. And it's breaking the pipe and it's just pouring out. Well, okay, we don't need a valve, it'll just come out like it is. But that's not curing my problem or getting my oxygen anywhere it needs to go. Now, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, if we click pause a minute. And we have a look at... So here we have gas pipe empty, insulated empty. Right, let's have a quick look at... I need to look at the filter. There we go. Okay, so that is coming out at 194. The insulated pipe itself is at 15. Well, these are a little bit colder. Interesting. Right. Right. Let's have a look at, while we're here and it's paused then. This pipe here is made out of absolite. Oh, I've already put some absolite pipe in. And the conductivity is stupidly low, or is that stupidly high? Can't remember. So where is it? Where am I getting the boiling damage? Is it here? So that pipe there is made out of obsidian, and its thermal conductivity is 2. That's obsidian. Over here we have a bit of pipe which is made out of sedimentary rock. Its thermal conductivity is 2. Here we have sandstone, slightly higher at 2.9. I think over here we're back to absolite, and it's got this. Right, so if it conducts heat... Oh, crikey, this is my A-level physics coming back to haunt me again. If I make this pipe absolite all the way across, is that going to help it or not? I mean, the others are not that much different. So let's have a go. Where's my plumbing? I've got plenty of absolite, haven't I? Can't see. Won't scroll over that far. Well, I can always go and dig some more out. So let's make all this across here absolite. It's not going to do it. Okay. Okay, we need to deconstruct all the liquid pipes between here and here then. And perhaps try... Oh, no, come down. Cancel build. Oh, come on. Just click all there, that's fine. Right, okay, let's run that, get those pipes broken. Because it seems to be alright there. Well, the pipe's only at 15 degrees. If I make it completely out of absolite, plumbing, it's conducting heat. Now, does that mean it'll conduct heat from the outside temperature? Don't know. There we go. They've gone to sleep again. Right, let's make that a 7, and see what happens when they wake up. The other thing I'm finding in here as well is that I am getting... You can't see it down there, but... Well, there's solid carbon dioxide. I thought I was getting solid oxygen as well. Now, you can't harvest these. It won't let you store them anywhere. Now, it could be because they are just... It's like a little seed. It's a bit like... Sometimes you see... You collect a lot of these little bits. Do they make a big bit, which you can then mine and do? No, good. Oh, pass. I don't know. I mean, that there is solid oxygen at 1.5 kilos. Sorry, solid carbon dioxide. Right, so now we're getting our boiling damage here. Oh no, it's sort of passing. down here. Halfway across the base. Look at my temperature levels. Yeah, it's making this really, really cold. Pipe really cold, which I'm not surprised. Ah, where did it go? Did it come in here? Is this oxygen through here? I think this might be. I think it's doing something. I'm not too sure what it's doing. Okay, I need to, first of all, need to prioritise that and that. Let's take that to 5 again. And actually, you'll do a mop up there as well. Okay, I'll let this fill up with oxygen, see what happens. Hopefully with the water lock here, we will get some oxygen up into here maybe, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. See, I want to see if it comes out of here. Is there no water in that gas permeable tile? I don't think there is. Okay, right, we'll see what happens. So, by the looks of things, you get a boiling damage when you stop using absolute pipe, which has the best thermal or worst thermal conductivity, really good insulation. And yeah, it's a really low number. That's what that E number is. That's maths. Right, so I'm going to build a parallel pipe. This here is all boiling damage. This is all done on, I think it's granite pipe here, and it's filling this area here with oxygen, which unfortunately is pushing all this hydrogen down. So I'm going to stop. I can remember which. Is it that one? I think it's that one. I'm going to stop this pump a minute, and just looking at the amount of hydrogen up here, I might have to vent some of that off in a minute. In fact, we can. Yeah, I can do that. I can. Some more polluted water up there as well. I've got all my guys just trying to mop up some of this at the moment. But you know, everybody is stressed to the eyeballs, but they really do need to have a giant mop up. So that's what we're doing. Nobody's doing anything apart from mopping, and then we'll go back to our normal duties. But until, yeah, I've got to stop this pump, stop this releasing here, build this pipe so we can release all this down here somewhere. I don't know what's going to happen with this carbon dioxide, but hopefully that will sort itself out. If not, I'll have to perhaps move this pipe and dump the oxygen. That's going to cause problems as well. I don't want to push the carbon dioxide up in the same way I don't want to push all this hydrogen down. So all this will sort itself out in a bit. There's loads of oxygen there. There's loads of hydrogen here. So yeah, it needs to sort itself out. Filter through each packet needs to filter through. So yeah, we'll do a good mop, get everybody nice and relaxed, and we can get, you see, where they've been stressed out, they've broken all the hamster wheels. The generator's not working. I'm probably running out of, I've run out of power, that's why nothing's working at the moment. But I do need to get it mopped up so that the guys are... actually, that's not too bad. Right, okay, let's go back to jobs. And get everybody doing everything except for art. Not too worried about anything else really, but yeah, I only want you doing art. Oh, come on. And we'll close that down. And we still only hovering about 47 calories, but that's because they've been not delivering any reject all. Yeah, I do need to get them repairing, and they need to buck up and get with their day jobs. So let's give them all a bit of a dose on the So anybody who's grossly... Yeah, it is. Barney, Turner, Otto, Wren. Barney, Turner, Otto. Come on. Otto. Barney, Turner, Otto. Wren, Devon and Stinky. That's virtually everybody apart from them then. Right, so we'll leave those guys getting all of this. There's some more mopping to do here. The base is looking a lot less contaminated with bodily fluids, so we'll just crack on and leave that to it. And I think that's going to be about it for this episode, so I will thank you guys very much for coming and joining me. The 2 or 3 of you who watched this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.